Hello, it is great to be with you again. We're just loving this study in Acts. I hope you're enjoying and learning some new things. I know I am. And I'm just reading a small portion today in Acts 27. We are continuing with Paul's incredible adventure journey as he has been faithful to sharing the gospel, and the Lord's been faithful in delivering him time and time again. He is setting sail for Rome. You may have been hearing that in previous devotions. And he's in the middle of a storm, and he's been told by God that God's going to deliver all of them safely. And he's told the crew and those on board of the ship several times, God's going to look out for us. And he's come across as a person of authority, which is interesting as a prisoner, that people are listening to what he says. They're obeying him and following his advice, and God has been faithful. So we are in verse 39. So the storm has been going on for a couple weeks. They finally had a meal together and got some of their strength returned, a little bit of courage returned into their hearts and their souls. But they had been praying for daylight. When daylight came, they did not recognize the land. So they saw some land there. They knew they were close because they had been taking measurements, and they knew that they were close to land. But they didn't recognize it. But they saw a bay with a sandy beach where they decided to run the ship aground if they could. Cutting loose the anchors, they left them in the sea, and at the same time untied the ropes that held the rudders. So this was a last-ditch effort. They were abandoning their anchors and loosening their rudders. They knew now that they were committed to what was going to unfold next. Then they hoisted the foresail to the wind and made for the beach. But the ship struck a sandbar and ran aground. The bow stuck fast and would not move, and the stern was broken to pieces by the pounding of the surf. What they didn't realize was that they're at the island of Malta. And around that area of Malta is a lot of thick clay, muddy clay. And so when the boat hit into that clay, that mud, it really sucked it on tight. And so the water just pounding, that surf that was pounding on it, began to break apart the ship. So the soldiers planned to kill the prisoners to prevent any of them from swimming away and escaping. But the centurion wanted to spare Paul's life and kept them from carrying out their plan. So Paul, we can't forget, he was a prisoner as well. And they decided to kill all the prisoners, then Paul would have lost his life. And he was the one who had given them direction. Centurion was rewarding that wisdom that was on Paul's life. And so he kept them from carrying out the plan to kill all the prisoners. So he ordered those who could swim to jump overboard first and get to land. The rest were to get there on planks or on pieces of the ship. In this way, everyone reached land safely. Can't imagine, 276 people. So interesting that we have so many details of this story in the scripture. There are other stories. I wish I could have had more detail, but we are provided just a very detailed account of what happened here. And they were all able to reach the land safely. They reached Malta. Were they going to Malta? No. But God is faithful and kept them there safely. Do you feel like you've been in a storm? Just flailing around for a couple weeks or whatever your time frame has been, and suddenly you find yourself on Malta, and that is totally not where you wanted to go. What is the Malta in your life? What place do you find yourself in that you did not anticipate being in that season, in that position, maybe with a job, maybe I can't even imagine experiencing things that feels like it's off course. It's not the original plan. Malta has come into your life, and that was not something that you had wanted, but it seems to be where you find yourself. Can we just remember how God got you there? That He allows everything that happens to us to flow through His fingers. He knew you were going to land on Malta, and maybe Malta's going to be a place of rich learning, of faith building, and already you've reached there safely. Maybe not without hazard, maybe not without drama. Maybe you had to swim, maybe you've been riding on a plank, but you got there. And God's going to continue to be with you on your journey. So whatever we can do to learn what it is we need to learn while we're on Malta, let's look to that and just trust the God who has been faithful to get us there will continue to move us on in our life's journey. Just be blessed today. Have a great day and go in peace.